There's too much to share. But
Yes.
anyways, hello
Uh,
everyone. So we're doing
hello,
we're
hello.
we're trying something. And if it doesn't go good,
Yes.
whatever. If it does, great. We'll keep on keeping on. But basically, this is the unnamed podcast because we can't decide on anything in particular. It took us 2 weeks to decide on when we were going to start streaming. So,
Yeah, pretty much. We're going by the seat of our pants on this one.
very much so, and we will continue to do so because once again, we cannot decide on anything. Um,
Anything.
literally anything. But yeah.
We tried. We've tried.
So basically, what we're going to be doing during these podcasts, if we continue them, we're just going to kind of start streaming and we're going to just start talking. And it's going to last about an hour or so and go from
Maybe
there,
a little longer.
depending on the topics and everything. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're not coming in with, a lot of, all right, this is what we're going to talk about. It's going to be like, we're, today we said we were going to start with games,
Okay.
but then, hey, hello, Jack. But then,
Hi, Cap.
we started talking and we just kind of kept talking about random stuff and then we started up the stream. So that's how these are always
did a
going to
multi.
go. Oh, look at you. Cap already done it. Gosh darn it, Cap. If you just stayed, I could have done it, but okay. I'm glad
Hey,
that you
Vissy.
did it.
Me
Hey,
and
Vissy.
me and Hippie are streaming.
Yeah.
We're looking at. By the way, guys, we are looking at both chats. So if you have any questions, please do ask both of us. Holy hell, that was the quickest up from 0 I've ever gotten. All right, now it's starting to drop back down. This is normal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so
very
basically,
it's very different when we're both gaming streamers that now we're both sitting here not doing anything. Like, I feel weird that the podcast is, or the stream is going, and I'm just sitting here typing on Twitter. Like, it's, I don't know what to do with my hands right now. It just feels
yeah,
wrong.
this is new for both of us. So, uh, give us a little break. Let us know what you want us to talk about, maybe for next time, maybe for this time, just stuff like that. If you like the music in the background, if you don't like the music in the background. Um, Also, for people that normally on my streams, yes, song requests are turned off right now. That is due to the fact that these will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. There is actually a link to my YouTube channel in the description, or the little panels down below. So go check that out. I don't know if Hippie has anything on hers. Also, there is a multi, and I'll get the link for you in just a moment. Just sending out tweets.
Okay, book is a bit low. All right, for me, he's pretty loud, so I will work on that. Thank you, Vissy. But yeah, so like I said before, we were gonna come in here with just the topic of gaming, but then, oh, what was I talking about before? I don't even know what I was talking about before. I said I need to shush.
Thank you, Kat. Yeah, you were talking about your day, your boss, and then something about dirt.
Until you do a raised garden bed, you will never talk so much about dirt. And you have to learn so much about dirt. It's the most boring thing in the world to learn.
Yeah, dirt is a rather interesting subject because there's so much that goes into it, the pH balance and yada yada blah blah blah.
No, like, I studied geology and I'm still bored by it. Come on. But, I haven't gone that far in depth, but it's just like, compost mix versus topsoil versus, all these different. I went to the website for this place and they have 20 different types of soil. And I'm like, I just called him up. I was like,
Who
look,
needs 20 different types of soil?
I don't know, but I called him up and I was just like, look, this is what I'm doing. What do I need? and this is the measurements. I know how many cubic feet I need. And then they were talking about cubic yards. I'm like, I don't have it in cubic yards. I have it in cubic feet.
Right.
um,
Yards and feet. Oh my god, that's another thing to talk. Because I don't understand why America has to be so different than everybody else.
well, at this point, it would cost so much to change what's already there that it's just not feasible. And you would have to reteach everybody everything. It's probably never going to change over.
True. I'll give you that, yeah. But it's still weird how we started off different. I mean, you'd figure we would start with everybody using the same as everybody else in the world. That way, we could communicate and grow and expand.
Well,
right?
I mean, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but the measurement for foot and everything, doesn't that come from England? Like, isn't the measurement for foot supposed to be...
They use the metric system.
Yeah, but they used to, instead of having like a set system, they would measure like the queen's foot or something like that, and that would be how they measured things. And so isn't that where we get our measurement for foot or whatever, that is 12 inches, or I guess it would be the king's foot. I mean, hell, 12 inches, I don't know how big is my foot? I need...
Okay, what's your shoe size?
6.5.
So it's 6.5 inches.
Really? Oh, that's how the sizes are done. Yo.
Yes.
I never knew.
Yeah. You're learning new things here.
I've learned all the things already.
All the things have been learned. Yes.
I feel like my foot is not 6 inches, though. Either 6 inches is much bigger than I thought it was, or it's much smaller than I thought it was. I can't figure it out.
6 inches is probably a lot bigger than you thought it was.
Maybe.
Because if you wear a size 6 shoe, because the sizes actually go by inches.
Yeah. Hey, Red.
Hey, Red Plague. How you doing?
I never thought about it. Cap. Shh.
Yes, hip as dirt.
I am not. I take offense.
Well, you have.
You know how hard it would be to take offense? Like,
depends on the size of the fence.
Like, okay, let's talk about a white picket fence, because American Dream and all that stuff.
Question though, is it plastic or wood?
Oh, it's got to be wood, because the American Dream is not some plastic thing. This is from the 50s, so it's got to be wood.
True. It does have to be wood. So, given the fact that it would have to be wood,
it'd be heavy.
Thing is, picket fences the pickets themselves are rather thin.
But then you gotta think, like, they're concreted into the ground, probably.
Not normally, actually. In the 50s,
Really?
all they did was just stake them into the ground, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, we concreted ours, but then again, ours is like a one of those chain link metal fences or whatever. The cheapest thing you can do.
Chain link metal fences are... Hey, the chain link metal fences... Hey, Diablo, how's it going, buddy? The chain link metal fences are actually concreted into the ground because the chain links themselves are so, like, they'll actually catch the wind, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Even though they're, like, full of holes, they actually catch the wind and will rip the pole out of the ground if it's not concreted in.
Yep. Also, when you have dogs who just, for some reason, love to run straight into the chain link fence, it's really good to have your fence cemented into the ground. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's another thing with the picket fences, because they actually use, like, wooden poles, which are a lot tougher than the metal poles. Because the metal poles, you can just bend it in half.
Yeah.
With bare hands sometimes.
Well, they're not solid. They're hollow.
They're hollow.
Yeah.
And the wooden ones are solid, so you wouldn't think to concrete it in.
Oh, see, I just assumed that it was concreted since ours was, it's like, oh, this one's concreted, so this other one must be concreted too. Okay. But
Yeah.
okay. But wood fences, like the privacy fences or whatever, well, then again, we're talking about pickets. I feel like they would catch the wind even
Yeah.
more than a chain link. Like, even the picket fences.
Well, thing is, though, as you were stating, the picket fences actually weigh a lot more than a chain link fence does.
Yeah.
So even if it does catch the wind, the way it's designed and built with the cross support on, like, both levels, because it always has 2 cross supports on them.
Well, it
And
depends
the
on
2
how
cross
tall
supports.
your picket fence is.
Sure. I'm just talking like a normal picket fence, like
Okay.
one of those knee-high or waist-high picket fences.
I was about to say, knee high, you got one support. Like,
Yeah, I'm talking like the waist-high picket fences you normally saw in the 50s.
okay, the ones that you
Right.
lean over and talk to your neighbors like we don't do today. Because
Yeah.
why are you going to talk to
We
your
all
neighbors?
hate each other.
Yeah. There's a reason
Yeah.
why we have fences, guys.
Exactly. But yeah, those normally have 2 supports on the sides,
Mm.
which help the pickets themselves not fly off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the pickets themselves are most of the time in the ground as well.
Right. Oh, no! You didn't hear that.
Alrighty, we didn't hear that.
I forgot that I had Netflix open on my phone, and so I opened up my phone to check on stuff, and The Office just started playing. Thanks, phone, for betraying me. That was my guilty pleasure, you little jerk.
The phones. Those things are fun. Turkuda's bot hates me right now for some reason.
What?
The Trickley about it hates me. It's got your streaming up, but it don't got me streaming.
Aw. Well, look, the other day, I remember it saying something about your stream, but it was like hours after you'd already started.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not talking about Minecraft. Minecraft what? What?
Well,
No, we don't talk about Minecraft
what's
here.
Minecraft?
Yeah, what's Minecraft again? What's that
What
blocky game? Yeah, I don't know it.
I don't know.
I've never heard of it. Ugh.
Right. Oh dear Lord.
And we're not talking about fences anymore. We're sorry.
You sure? I mean, I've talked about fences. I'll
No.
keep talking about fences because.
No, because
Well, the thing is, though, we're still trying to figure out how hard it would be to take a fence.
okay, it depends. Okay, are we talking?
On what?
Are we actually gonna stick with the white picket fence? And what height is this white picket fence? Is it gonna be a knee-high one, like for a little flower garden or whatever? Or are we talking one from the 50s where you lean over and talk to your neighbors? Or are we gonna go current time and do privacy fence? Or are we gonna go cheap and say chain link fence? If you have a chain link fence, though, you gotta like you gotta get clippers so you can cut those little links that you connect the chain link fence to the pole with. So.
Yeah, true.
So.
Which actually, that's not too hard either.
Well, no. I mean, either way, you're gonna have to have some kind of material or some kind of tool to help you take this fence.
Yeah.
Now with the wood, if it's an old one, the wood's a lot lighter. So is it? No.
I would say it actually would be rather hard to take a fence.
Would it?
I would go with wood.
Would it be hard to take this fence?
It would. Diablo says he would go with a wood fence. So let's go with a wood fence. All right. Now we need to decide whether it be a privacy fence, a waist-high picket fence, or a knee-high picket fence.
It can't be privacy fence because that would. Could you imagine little 4'11" me holding my arms as wide as possible, trying to take this big old privacy fence that's another like 2 or 3 feet taller than I am?
Thing is, here's the thing: That's what the supports are for. That's what you can use the supports for. Grab it by the supports and lift it that way.
Unless the wind hits you and then it knocks you on your face, and then the fence hits your
fucked.
nose, and then you got a bloody nose or possibly a broken nose.
Ooh, broken nose. That'd be bad, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I say
So,
a typical 1950s picket fence. You could stick your arm through the fence and carry it over your arm like you carry a purse.
true.
I think that'll be
since
the
we're going
easiest
with
one.
that one. Yeah. So it'd be easy to take a fence.
It would be, I think it would be quite easy. And they're not cemented into the ground, so, you just kind of kick it over or something.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, we're talking about fences to take, not fences to keep in a German Shepherd, Diablo.
Oh my gosh. Fences to keep in dogs, though.
Yeah.
My current dog, she needs like a 6-foot privacy fence because she can clear my 4-foot chain link.
Thing is, we had like a 6-foot chain link fence when I was younger at my granddad's house, and I had a dog out there. My dog, I caught my dog climbing the chain link fence.
I've seen them do that too. Like the smaller dogs?
It's weird. No. Oh, no. This was a mix between a golden retriever and a Rottweiler.
Oh, those guys are smart.
Yeah. But my dog was putting paw in one link, and climbing over, standing on top of the top pole, and jumps off to get out of the yard.
Spider dog.
Spider dog. Spider dog does.
I mean, dogs, dude. They bring in. I mean, if we were talking about a fence to take for our dogs, it would have to be a privacy fence for me, at least.
It would be, yeah. It would have to be a privacy fence.
Also, that way too, if your neighbors only have like 1-story houses, they can't see into your backyard. You can do whatever the hell you want to. You know what? I don't feel like that.
Dipping in the pool.
Oh, I was thinking more like I don't have to cut my grass for 3 weeks because they can't see it anymore. Like that's on me now.
That too.
I mean that's the first thing I think of. I mean, right now I'm without a lawnmower, and so I gotta think. I gotta get a lawnmower in the next 2 weeks at least. Otherwise, it's too high, and then I gotta hire someone to cut it, and that's expensive. So
True.
I would love a privacy fence just all around my house, front yard, backyard, everything. Then they can't complain.
I do agree. So we would have to be stealing a privacy fence because we want the privacy.
Yep, the privacy, and because we both have dogs, so shoot. Do I have to do it with my bare hands? Like, can I have, what are those little trolley things called that, like the ones that you put packages on to and has the wheels? Dollies, yeah. Can I have a dolly to help me move it?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right,
Yeah,
I'm going
like
privacy then.
6 fences. Yeah, then you get like 6 fences on a dolly. Depending on the dolly itself. Because you can actually get it like those really long bottom dollies.
Yeah.
That you can like just get a whole bunch of them stacked on top of each other and get like 10 privacy fence chunks and take those with you on one dolly. So it'd be rather easy to steal a privacy fence too.
Oh man.
Except for the poles, you'd have to buy poles because those are cemented in because of the weight of the fence.
You just said it wasn't cemented in. You
liar!
No,
picket fences are not cemented in. Privacy fences are.
Well, that's good, because apparently my neighbors don't know how to cement in their privacy fence, because every time we have a good storm, it just falls right over. They need to learn.
I mean, do the poles fall over, or just the
just the panels? Yeah, just the panels.
Yeah, those aren't cemented. The poles are cemented in.
Well, they need to learn how to put together a fence. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I'll give you that. 'Cause I actually, I used to live with some people, and they had a fence that was all like falling down and shit.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went through it. I fixed up the fence, got it good. Didn't fucking have any issues. They kept having issues with it. And I was like, whatever. Nailed it up with some planks and shit. It's like, that's easy.
I feel like a fence is not that hard to do.
It's not.
Like, I've never had I helped my brother-in-law when he put up his, but that's been so long ago. You know, all I remember really is putting some nails in a post and being done. So.
Yeah, I've actually helped put up privacy fences before. It's easy as hell.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy to put them up. Pain to cut them, but easy to put them up.
Yeah, that's another thing. Anywho, we need to get away from fences. No more fences, okay? We just spent 20 minutes on how to take a fence because I wanted to be punny and just...
This is, guys, just to let you know, this is one of our normal conversations, so...
This is why. Yes, please. See? Even poor Diablo.
Yes.
The only talking person. We need to be kind.
I know, right? He's the only one talking in both of our streams.
But anyway.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah. Well, it's fun, but we'll see how to take offense.
How to take offense.
Stop, Vissy. Stop. You need to stop right now, because otherwise there's going to be another 20 minutes. And do you really want that? But in this day and age, now we know that it's easy to take offense. No matter if it's offense or offense. So,
exactly.
There, we have answered your question that you did not ask.
The question. Exactly. Is it easy to take offense or a fence? The answer is yes.
Yes. This is why, and I'll go ahead and put this out there now, this is why you guys need to submit topics for us to talk about, because otherwise we're going to sit here and talk about fences and dirt. Again.
We need to get back to the dirt subject. We weren't done talking about that one yet.
I don't even know what we were talking about with the dirt. I was just like, I called the lady and asked her about the different types of dirt. And I was like, look, I don't know what I'm doing. I thought this was okay. She's like, no, you're going to need topsoil. It's like, okay, but this said is good for gardens. And she's like, no, you're going to want topsoil. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, topsoil actually will give you the best ratio of water absorption and distribution to your plants.
I'm worried about the nutrients, you know? I'm probably going to have to get fertilizer to put in it, at least for the first year.
Yeah. Well, also be wary of the type of fertilizer you use, because some fertilizers aren't good with plants. They'll actually kill them.
Yeah. I got some fertilizer from a nursery near me. And they said it's good especially for tomato plants. So I'm assuming that it's good, with vegetable plants in general.
Yeah, should be. But I personally would go with horse fertilizer. Yeah. Well, I'd actually mentioned to a friend that took me a moment to dawn. We're talking about poop now. Yes. That is what fertilizer used to be made of.
Yeah. But I had already mentioned to a friend that I was going to be building raised garden beds and all this stuff, which has gone from building to using an old kiddie pool that I have out in the backyard. But she was like, well, I still have horses, and if you need some poop, guess where I am? And so, yeah, that was a very strange conversation with my mom's friend.
Well, the thing is, horse manure actually is very well for chemically proper for fertilizer for food.
Well, all they eat is grass and oats and hay, so
yeah, it's basically like putting ground up grass that's already prepared and ready for distribution into. I'm reading the endless comment and I can't stop. Ready to be distributed into the plants to help them grow better. Diablo, goddamn you! Jesus, why are we talking about shit? Because shit is fertilizer, damn it.
Why? Oh no!
Diablo, this. Good God.
Mother of God. Well, the thing is, when you
God save us.
when you talk about gardens, you got to start talking about how am I going to feed these how am I going to feed these plants so that they can feed me? And that's what compost, it's compost. And right now, because I don't have a compost pile right now, I need to go the manure route.
I was actually about to say you could start a compost pile.
Yeah, I had actually started working on one, and then I kind of stopped, and so it's going to take a while to get it, actually going.
You ruined the fertilizer.
Yeah. But yeah, like compost piles, there's actually a science to it. Like,
it really is. You actually have to get a pitchfork and flip it every now and again.
Yeah, you gotta flip it, but you gotta have like the right amount of nitrogen type stuff, and so it's not all just plant matter. Like it's good for you to throw some of the rotten veggies in there. It's good for eggshells, but not too many eggshells and not too many veggies. And it's just it's a science that I'm not ready to take on right now. I mean, my parents, they didn't even think about it. Like they dug a little bit of a hole. They put some leaves in it. They put some watermelon rinds and some rotten veggies from the garden, and that was their compost pile. They didn't even, think about it.
Thing is, though, you could also go ash compost pile way.
I do have some ash. I thought about adding it to the garden, hoping that would help, a little bit.
It depends on the type of ash. What type of ash do you got?
Well, I've got a lot of wood out back that I need to burn, so I might go. That seems more natural, But
yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, the ash I have right now, I wouldn't
it,
use. Right, because it would.
Yeah.
It'll
Don't use a lot of it because it'll actually clog up the oil, clog up the soil.
Yeah.
So it won't be able to hold enough moisture.
Yeah. Because the ash I have right now is just like paper and stuff.
Oh yeah, you don't want fake stuff like that. You want you want good ash.
Yeah. No, we're not talking about flipping shit.
Ash,
we're talking about flipping compost piles, which is
You can also put like leaves and grass clippings and stuff like that.
Yeah, I read that if you put in leaves and grass clippings, that you should put dirt over top of it because that just like keeps in the moisture and everything, so that it'll actually compost. Which we never did. Yeah, we never did that. Like we just straight up threw stuff in there, and it turned into dirt over time.
But the thing is, you guys were also throwing in like vegetables and stuff because the vegetables actually themselves will degrade into dirt.
Yeah.
Type substance that will cover up the leaves and stuff like that.
Okay, it's not trash. We're not talking about a trash pile. We're talking about compost.
Yeah, compost.
Trash does not compost. Compost is organic material.
Okay, now there's a fine line between trash and compost because, now listen up, this is gonna flip your wig. Mm-hmm. What you can do is you can actually buy egg cartons. You know, the old egg carton type things. You can actually compost that.
Depends. It depends on the egg.
Like I said, like I said, the old type egg cartons, the little gray ones.
Yeah.
Kind of like cardboard.
You can still get those at Aldi's. Like I've never seen them I've never seen them at Food Lion, but at Aldi's that's what they always have. Which Aldi's eggs have gone up 40 cents in like a week.
Really?
Yes. They went from being like 89 cents to $1.20 something.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, yeah. And
That's
then
a
somebody,
lot for a fucking egg.
well, that's for a dozen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
always
buying
get
them by
dozen
like
anyways.
an egg at a time.
I'm like, who the fuck buys an egg for that much money? What the fuck kind of world do we live in?
Wait,
No, not an
what?
egg at a time. Got it.
What kind of world do you live in where you can buy an egg at a time?
Hey, SJ, how's it going?
Hey, SJ.
Actually, I live in Michigan. There's actually farmer stands around where you can actually buy per egg.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, even at the farmer's market, they don't sell them by the egg. They sell them by the dozen. The
You
only
can
time
actually
I've
buy
got
per eggs in some of the places.
the only time I've ever gotten, anything other than a dozen or a half dozen is at my boss's house because they have chickens.
Well, thing is, like I said, because there's I mean, I'm there. No matter where you go, there's a lot of farms. Now, I'm not. This is not a joke. This is a legitimate thing. They in the ghetto, or in the not country, the city. Like in the neighborhood I used to live in, like in the city, surrounded. There's like big buildings, like right down the road or whatever. There was this house that had chickens. And they would sell per eggs. It's like 10 cents per egg, or a dozen for $1.50.
Damn.
Yeah.
Granted, now if you buy eggs from the farmer's market or whatever, they're like $4 for a dozen. It's crazy. Oh no, from 89 cents to $1.29. Who would pay that much for eggs? That's why you live in Alaska and pay $2.19 for eggs. Oh my, well, I mean, that's what it used to be here.
Sorry.
Like, not too long ago, it was, $2-3 for a dozen eggs, and then Aldi's is like offering them over there for 89 cents, so everybody else has to put their prices down to be competitive. Same thing for the milk price. Milk used to be like $3 a gallon, and Aldi's was like, nah, $1.10. Come on. And everybody else had to go down to around $1.10.
Yeah, true.
10
And yes,
cents
Cap,
per...
that is a ripoff. That is a ripoff. So you buy it per egg and just take what you need. Like, say you need like 3 eggs, just go down 30 cents, get 3 eggs. There you go.
Yeah, no, I would just be like, hey, I want 12 eggs. You want a dozen? No, I want 12 individual eggs, please. Thank you.
And they would give it to you like that.
Yeah, and then they would give you the cheaper price.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, they did 12 for $1.50 because, okay, I'm about to blow your mind with a few things, guys. Even stores do this. They do this much for this amount, which is actually more than it's worth. All stores do it. All stores do it. And it's weird how they do it because it makes it look like a deal when it's not a deal.
Right. I mean, it's something that you got to think about when you're in the store and you're on a budget, like both of us are. You could get the let's go with eggs because that's what we're talking about right now. You could go with a dozen eggs for $1.50, or you could go with the half dozen for let's see, that would be 75 cents. So let's say they're 60 cents instead.
Yeah.
And so, it's really smart. It takes more time in the store, but it's really smart to sit there and be like, this is, a few cents cheaper, and it's the better buy. I mean, we learned that in math class in high school.
Yeah. Math class in high school.
That was like
brought that up in a long time.
That was like the only good thing I learned, other than now I'm relearning how to use area because I gotta, the dirt thing. But we're not gonna bring that up again. But
not going to bring up the dirt again.
We're not gonna bring up the dirt, but the dirt. No. But
Exactly.
it's
But,
just really
'cause the
smart.
dirt.
it's just really smart to be able to do basic math so that you can figure out, this loaf or bread might be, a little bit shorter than the other, but it's actually still the better buy. Just because you get more stuff doesn't mean that it's what you should get.
Yeah, because sometimes it's better to get more of the little stuff than it is to get more of the bigger stuff.
Yep. And sometimes it's really bad to get more of the little stuff than it is to get less of the bigger stuff.
True.
I learned that because I used to go to the dollar store all the time.
Oh, dear Lord, the dollar store.
Every
I've
paycheck.
spent $100 at a dollar store.
I've not one trip, but I've spent a fair amount of money at that place over time. And I finally did a little bit of math in my brain. And I was like, I am wasting so much money going to the dollar store. Like, the hot sauce, I was like, I'm getting cheap hot sauce. Nah, down at the store, I can get a bottle twice the size for 4 cents cheaper. I mean, 4 cents, but, still, I'm getting twice the size.
Yeah, getting twice the size. And here's another thing I like to... Yeah, hippie do math.
I know.
Here's another thing that I like to do, is because I look at a smaller thing, like a small thing of Tabasco, right?
Yeah.
Typical small thing of Tabasco. Expensive. It's like, I don't know the exact price. Let's say $2. Right?
I would say $2.
About $2 for a small thing of Tabasco. The large thing of Tabasco is $2.50. And that's like 3 times the size of the small thing.
Right.
So, normal people would look at the big thing and look at the small thing. Small thing is that price. They figured the big thing has the bigger price. So they wouldn't go for the big thing. Or just say, I'm not going to use it. Thing is, that shit lasts for fucking ever.
Not unless you're like me and basically drink it, so. I get store brand.
Then, yeah. Store brand, and that's another thing. A lot of people always have an issue with store brands. Like, oh, you buy store brand? It's like, well, fuck you. Store brand's cheaper. Not only is it cheaper, but sometimes it actually tastes better than name brand. Yeah,
I mean, there's no point in you spending. Let's talk about cereal now. There's no point in you spending $4 a box. Well, you can get it for $2 a box, and it's probably made at the exact same factory that the $4 a box is made. They were just like, hey, you know what? We'll pay you to just put this in our box.
Exactly.
Just, take a day or whatever. Yeah.
We get more money.
Right.
There you go. And for a lot of name brand things, including clothing, you're paying for the name, not the product.
Right.
Which is the thing a lot of people...
Go ahead.
That's fine. And that's a thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that just because it's name brand doesn't mean it's better quality.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I will say, there are some things that you should not get the store brand in. There are some things that are just better. But, for the most part, you would not be able to tell the difference if I put, one bowl of Rice Krispie Flakes in front of you and then one bowl of the store brand of the exact same thing right in front of you.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to tell unless you are, in your mind about it and you're thinking, oh, I'm eating the off-brand and it's not going to be as good or whatever.
But the thing is, like even Rhett and Link have proven, sometimes the off-brand actually tastes better than the name brand. And some of their taste tests they've done, like off-brand versus name brand type things.
Yeah.
The name brand usually tastes better than the off-brand usually tastes better than the name brand.
Yeah. Let's see. Just an idea. Anyone in chat who listens to the podcast, if they want to, consider taking notes of the topics that are being talked about so that Hippie and Book know what they've talked about in the podcast to keep in mind for the future. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Just because we will probably talk about this multiple times. Fences, dirt, and prices
Now we're
of
talking about
food.
prices and economics and stuff.
Yeah, because that's just how it goes.
Uh, we also talked about eggs.
Can be better than big brand food in my experience. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I get most of my stuff now from Aldi's. And that's not going to be name brand. The only name brand thing they have there is Cheerios, and I only get that because it is my favorite kind of Cheerios, and I cannot find them anywhere else. Like, I've never
Wait,
seen
what type of Cheerios?
Very Berry Cheerios.
Oh, yeah, that shit's hard to find.
Yeah, the only place I can find it is
Walmart
Aldi's.
normally has it.
Yeah, see,
Walmart normally has it, but you don't go to Walmart.
Right, I don't, it's just not my thing, and also it's further away than everything else.
Well, thing is, now I'm going to change the subject again. The reason I like, right, the reason I like going to Walmart or Myers or some big box store like that is because normally they have their own brand that is an off brand.
Yeah.
Of the like name brands, and it's like half the price, if not cheaper.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like basically everything. They have their own diapers, their own. I don't think they have their own clothing yet, but they have their own foods and stuff like that. So that way they can actually like make sure that the prices are low enough for their customers and stuff.
I have avocado on my shirt. Anyway, I told you I had a salad accident, okay?
I know.
And I just looked down at my... I was for no reason. And I have avocado and salad dressing on my shirt right now, so I'm very glad I don't have face cam.
I told her to relax and no need to rush, and nope.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Food Lion's the exact same now. They don't go as in depth as like Walmart does. But now there's those Walmart grocery stores where it's just the grocery store part. It's not like the clothing and the guns and all that random stuff all mixed together. Yeah, it's like Walmart Market or something like that. I don't know. I've only been in one once just because, 3 of them popped up around town and me and Mom were driving around and it's like, hey, let's go. Because that's what we do. We just go into random grocery stores for fun. Because that's fun. I'm fun at parties.
Yeah. Me and my mom, we do that too. That's actually how we first went into Five Below. Which is, everything there is $5 or less there.
Oh, I want one of those.
Yeah. I mean, everything is $5 and less. And they have these big fucking things of candy. I mean, like these big tubes just full of candy.
Okay, you've already won me over.
They have like their own. They have these candy aisles. They have a little fridge drink area. There's like toy section. There's headphones, electronics.
It's basically
posters.
like the dollar store, just with your $5 limit instead of a $1 limit.
Yeah, and stuff is usually better quality.
Yeah, I mean, just add a couple more bucks and, you could usually get stuff of better quality. I mean, the dollar store you get shit quality. Yeah. Clothing here, guns over here, in your local superstore. Only in America. It's true. You can pick up a loaf of bread and a gun at the same time. Because America.
Yeah.
And Diablo wants to talk about dogs. What do you want to know about dogs? We've got dogs. My dog's allergic to being a dog. You want to talk about that?
Our dog is allergic to fleas, so.
See, now we thought ours was too because she used to live outside, and so we missed a couple of flea treatments in the middle of summer, and she had fleas, and she didn't really have a whole lot of issues before then, and we brought her inside. We got her on flea treatment. We got her on. We had special soap and all that stuff. Took her to the vet just a couple days ago or so, and he's like, "Oh, yeah." So basically, she has a particular kind of mange. It's not transferable, but it's basically she's allergic to being a dog.
Now that sucks. I hate it when dogs are allergic to being dogs.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm surprised she's made it this long, She's 8 years old, and he's like, most people would have, most people have them put down. And so that was a fun vet visit. But it's so strange that dogs can be allergic to, being alive, basically.
Being a dog.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that's just like a human. That's like a human that's allergic to water. Our body is made of like 70% water.
Yeah.
And there's actually humans that are allergic to water.
No.
Like straight out will die in contact of water.
No.
Yeah, seriously.
No.
It's an actual illness.
I want proof. Where links where it didn't happen.
All right, you know what?
Maybe she's a trans dog.
Maybe she's a trans
She wants to be a hamster. She acts a lot like a cat because she sleeps about 20 hours a day. Actually, no, it's more like 15. But that's because she's doped up on medicine to, make her semi-healthy. So that's why she sleeps a lot. That's why she's the best dog I've ever had. She doesn't bark because she's just too doped up to. Yeah, dogs sick of being dogs. Now, Book, you have a lab, right? She's a lab
Black
mix. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's Black Lab Pit.
Okay.
Yeah. I sent links to both of our chats and to you, to the wiki.
No way.
Yeah, way.
What do they drink then? Because, most drinks have water in them, too. Like, all drinks do, don't they?
Yeah. Milk doesn't.
So, what if they're lactose intolerant and aquagenic?
They fucked. That's basically what it means. They fucked. But yeah, that is a serious thing, and it legitimately affects humans.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was the term was first used in 1769. What?
Yeah.
And it dates back to 1000 or 2000 BC? No. How?
Yes.
How is this? I feel like, I don't know. How? Okay, back then, how do they just, leave these babies out in the woods to let them die? That was a thing. That's not,
Yep.
being insensitive. That's what they used to do.
More likely they would. Because these babies had, especially back then, when there wasn't as much variety of being able to get liquid into your body that isn't water.
Yeah. This means the Wicked Witch of the West.
The babies would, basically...
they would wither and die.
Yeah, wither and die. They would dehydrate.
Yeah.
They would get dehydrated, and then they would just die of dehydration.
Wow.
And the parents would have to watch their babies just dehydrate in front of them.
It used to be a thing that children who weren't wanted or were weak at birth, they would just take them out to the woods and leave them.
Yeah. Or take them to an orphanage.
Well, there's that too, but that always stuck with me, that people used to leave their children out in the woods. And then there's so many stories based upon children being left out in the woods, being raised by, random people out there, or animals, or taken by the gods and turned into demigods or whatever.
Yeah. Ooh, there's actually a few creepypastas about, isn't it the wiki where 90-something% of the thing on there wrong? Yes and no. Actually, wiki is a place where things can be changed, but it's not 90% of the things are wrong.
So
that actually isn't actually.
Go ahead. No. I'm not gonna. I've been talking too much.
No, go ahead.
Your teachers lie to you. They tell you not to use it for your papers, but it is a great place to start. It's not the place to get all your information, but if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there are citations. And that will take you to other websites or, online books or whatever. And then you go to those, and those are typically good references. Sometimes they're not. So you have to be, careful about your information. But yeah.
Wikipedia is actually a pretty good place to to start getting information, and then you got to dig deeper a little bit by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like something like a medical thing, you'll have to look through, go to like med.com or med.org or whatever. That'll actually, you type in the illness, like aqua blah 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 blah, and actually learn information about it, and if there's been deaths from it and stuff like that.
Do not search your symptoms though on what is it, Med MD or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Never try to self-diagnose.
Oh my
never
God.
self-diagnose, guys.
Because then one day you'll have like the common cold, but the next day you'll have like you think you have cancer, you're gonna die, and then everything goes downhill from there.
Yeah.
Totally did not happen.
Right. There's actually illness that it's a mental illness, not a physical one. That actually basically states that if you think you've got something, you'll start showing symptoms of it.
Hypochondriac. Hypochondria. I like mixed it between hypochondria and hypochondriac, which is like the disease and then the name of the, like, what you call the person.
Yeah. Hypochondria. That your mind you will think you have something, and your mind will start showing symptoms of it.
So
even
like,
if you don't got it, even if you're 100% perfectly fine, you will still start showing symptoms.
Yeah, like you'll read, oh, this means I'm gonna have a scratchy throat. You'll start having one, and just a little bit. And I think we all have a little bit of hypochondria in us. There's just people who have more of it, because I can sit there and I'm just like perfectly healthy. And I'll be like, no, that's not going to affect me. A couple days later, I might go back and then suddenly, I start feeling sick or whatever. That probably comes from me trying to convince myself I was sick, though, so I could skip school.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's kind of exactly like the placebo effect.
Yes. You think that this pill is going to make you better, so you start to get better.
Yeah.
Whereas you read that these things are going to happen, and then those things happen. Yeah, your mind is a very powerful thing with the human body.
It's much more than people give it credit for.
Yeah. I mean, a good outlook on things is not going to 100% do anything, but it does help.
It does. Your mind perceives things the way you want to perceive them. If you want to perceive it as negative or just hatred, that's what you will perceive. I have been guilty of this in my past with my stepdad. I perceived that he had hated me because how he was acting. But now that I've grown up more, I've understood that the reason he acting that way was because I needed the skills that he was teaching me in my life.
Right.
So having strict parents isn't a bad thing, guys. I mean, to a point.
Also, not having strict parents is a cool thing, too. I mean, I was the third child. Nobody gave a shit what I did.
Oh no, my parents cared, and they cared a little too much sometimes.
Yeah, see, I'm the exact opposite. My parents, by the time I came along, they were like, look, just don't die, and you'll be fine.
Just try to fucking survive. Fool ya, just do the surviving thing. That's all you gotta do.
You're the last child. You're good.
Right.
But, I never had any real rules. The chores were whatever I felt like doing. I did them, but, it was just do them. If you don't, there's no consequences. There was never any, you have to be back home at a certain time.
When it came to my household, it was, One of the main ones, and I actually got a story behind this, why this one sticks out in my head, is lying is an ass whooping offense. That's how we were told to say.
Yeah.
And see, the thing is, CPS got called on my parents. For you people that don't know what CPS is, it's Child Protective Services. I've gotten called on my parents God knows how many times. But my parents have never had us taken away. For the simple reason, or for one of these reasons. They talked to me and my stepbrother. They took us out of class and talked to us. And both of us, now we didn't even know that they were talking to the other one, but both of us said, including our parents also said, but I'll get to that in a minute. Both of us said, well, one rule that sticks out is lying is an ass whooping offense.
Yeah.
Because all the other rules, kind of the punishments fluctuated a bit, but that one stayed solid. So CPS knocked on my parents' doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, all right, come on in. And they start talking about it. And then they asked, well, what is one rule in the household? One of the rules in the household. And they thought, and then they said, well, one solid rule is lying is an ass whooping offense. The CPS agents fucking started laughing. They laughed their asses off. My parents looked at them like, what? It's like, both your children said the exact same things you just said. My parents started laughing about it. I mean, every time CPS was calling, like, come on in, have a drink, have some coffee with us, sit down and talk about it. Because they were not being vicious.
Right.
They were trying to mold us into good people. And it worked. I personally try not to lie.
Yeah.
For as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. That's a good quality, and I don't know. Fuck CPS. CPS is there for a good reason.
It's there to try to protect everyone.
Now, they fuck up, just like, everything else fucks up sometimes. But sometimes it gets it right. And I will not pretend to know the situation that, caused CPS to come in, but, sometimes there's a good reason, sometimes there's not.
Yeah, sometimes it's neighbors being assholes, which is basically why CPS was called to my parents.
Right.
We were getting our butts whooped, and CPS got called because,
Yeah, what, even back then? Back then it was more accepted that spankings were like a thing.
Hippie, I'm the same age as you.
I know. That's why I said back then, because it was fine. Like, it was encouraged here.
Now, mind you, my stepdad is about 6'3", 200 some odd pounds. Dude that can used to be able to lifted up and moved a motor out of a bloody full-sized van barehanded.
Yeah.
Getting spanked from him hurt a lot, so we would scream because it fucking hurt.
There is a difference between being beat and being spanked, though.
Yeah, definitely. And thing is, we would scream because he hit us and he hit us hard and it hurt. So we would scream. That's why they were called.
I never
being beat.
Yeah, I never actually got hurt. Like, my pride would when we were out in public and my mom did it, but it was my mom. She's a very kind-hearted person. It was more of a tap just to say, hey, you need to shape the fuck up.
Right. Thing is, in public, now, this is not a joke. My mom still does it to this day. It irritates me, but it's like, whatever. We're walking around like a store or something. I'm behaving perfectly fine, right?
Uh-huh.
Some kid down the aisle starts mouthing off to their parents, acting up. My mom hit me upside the back of the head hard. She's like, ow, what'd I do? It's like, you ever act like that, I will whoop you. It's like, I'm not doing anything. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, see, me and mom just look at each other. It's like, if I had ever been that way, you would have tore my butt up right here in the middle of the store. I mean,
right?
Kids have no damn respect. We had speaking of CPS, we had a youth minister once that at that point they had 4 kids, I think, and they're now up to like 6 or 7. I don't know.
Holy hell, that's a lot
Yeah,
of kids.
tubes need to be tied. Anyway, you know what? If they can support
or
them,
something needs to be cut.
if they can support them, by all means, keep on.
Yeah.
But she had spanked one of her kids in the middle of a store because they were misbehaving. And this lady comes up to her and is like, I'm calling CPS on you. She's like, you know what? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Take him away. I don't care. You know, it's just one of those really stressful days that all parents go through. And they're like, you know what? Take him. I don't care. You can have him. You want him? Here. And kids are stressful.
Yeah, definitely. Kids are a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah, neither one of us have them, but we, just watching them is stressful. Just being in their general vicinity is stressful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I couldn't imagine living with one 24/7.
Oh, thing is, that's why when my brother was here, I was like, oh dear God, please leave soon, because I had to deal with their kids. It's like, shut up, please. I just want to sleep, because I sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Which means the kids are up around being rambunctious, being kids.
Yep.
And I'm over here like, shut up so I can sleep, please.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love being an aunt. I can, I get to know these kids. I get to see them grow up from like little babies. But you know what? I get to go home where it's nice and quiet. I don't have like children's toys everywhere. I don't have to listen to them watching the wrong Star Wars. You know, there's a wrong Star Wars. There is an episodic version of Star Wars. It's animated. It's not the actual Star Wars. It is wrong.
Yes, I know.
And that's what they like. They like it more than the other one because they say the real one is scary.
Oh, boo-hoo. I watched fucking Anaconda and we grew up with bloody Jurassic Park. I mean bloody.
Yeah, my dad let me watch Cujo when I was like 8.
Oh, Cujo, dear God.
Yeah, I think it's Clone Wars, yeah.
First time I was ever afraid of a dog was watching Cujo.
Yeah, like, I love all dogs. I don't care, it could be the biggest, scariest dog possible, and I'm going to go up to a dog like it's a little baby, because it's cute. I love them. A little human comes up to me, I'm like, go away. Go, shoo.
Yeah, it's like, shoo. Shoo with you, heathen. Away with you.
Ooh, everything's fine.
But, thing is, a lot of kids don't understand the type of stuff people like us actually went through to get to where we are right now.
Things were different. Things were so different. Like, and my sister, she's like, I had said something about them not being able to watch all the Harry Potter movies yet. Not because of any religious thing or anything like that. It's because they're scary. Like, her and her husband sit down and watch them together and decide whether they're too scary or not. And their daughter will even say, oh, it was too scary for me. I had nightmares. And I'm just like, my father...
Do you even know what scary is?
My father took me out of school early to go see the Harry Potter movies when they first came out in theaters. And that was like second grade or something like that.
Thing is, I was watching stuff like Freddy Krueger, Jason, like slasher flicks when I was younger.
Yeah.
It's like, Harry Potter is scary?
It's apparently the basilisk is scary.
Fucking Anaconda, motherfucker. Basilisk ain't got nothing on the goddamn Anaconda.
I mean,
that thing gave me nightmares.
I don't ever remember really being scared. Now Cujo, I was scared. But like Harry Potter, I remember getting a rush at the scary parts. Um,
Yeah.
but I was never
Oh man,
actually
the adrenaline with the scary
scared.
parts are fun.
Yeah, and maybe that's what the kids are perceiving, and they're feeling that adrenaline, and they're not used to it. And
Yeah, they're afraid of the adrenaline, not the actual thing on the
I
TV.
guess I don't know. I mean, I guess adrenaline could be scary if you've never really experienced it before. Grimm's fairy tales are scarier than Harry Potter. I'll believe it because I've heard that Grimm's fairy tales are not exactly like the fairy tales that we read.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom let me
I
watch
like
Jaws at
this.
5. Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched Jaws 1, Jaws 2, and Jaws 3, I believe.
And then Jaws Returns, I think, is the last one.
I thought there was like one more after that.
I thought, well, there might have been another one, but I know I watched like 1, 2, 3, and then there's a Returns, and that's all I've seen. Now, whether there's more or not, I don't know.
Yeah. But thing is, even if I do start to, even if even if a movie does scare me, I know how to combat that. Watch a funny movie afterwards,
Yeah.
and you don't think about the scary thing anymore. You just think about the bloody crazy person on screen that made you laugh.
Right. I mean, I know as a kid I would get more scared. Like, if I watched an actual scary movie, I would get more scared than I do now. Like, I couldn't go down the hallway. I couldn't go into a room by myself. But, I don't know. I thought it was good for me. I've turned out okay. I'm not, like, some serial killer or whatever.
Right. Thing is, though, now that kids are coddled, not saying all kids are coddled, so if you're getting triggered by that, shut your mouth.
Get shook.
But now that, yeah, right.
Shook is the
Shook,
new.
man, I'm shook.
Yeah, shook is the new term. Come on, man, get with the kids.
Oh fucking hell.
You gotta be hip.
But anyways, no, that's you.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, what was I saying? Seriously, what was I about to say? I was about to say something.
We were talking about kids getting coddled and how nowadays.
Oh yeah. Haven't you noticed that the fact that kids are getting more coddled nowadays? We're having more mass shootings in schools and stuff because they don't know how to properly express the anger and aggression that they're feeling because they have never gone through having to feel stuff like that.
Yo, Black Mirror, you need to watch it. Have you watched it yet, Black Mirror?
No, I don't think I've watched that yet.
Oh my god, watch it. Do you have Netflix?
No, I do not.
Well, find another way to watch it because you need to watch it because there's all kinds of stuff. There is one that kind of, alludes to what we're talking about right now, which I'm going to kind of dodge around the subject and talk about Black Mirror instead. But basically this, I avoid tough subjects. So this one episode, every episode is about a different kind of technology in the future. It's always based in the future. But this one technology had it so that there was a little implant put into the child's brain, like when they're really, really young, and you can see from their perspective, and you can hear and all that stuff. And there were parental, like, guides or whatever, so that you could block certain things. So, like, if their adrenaline starts going up, you can block it. It'll just turn it into a blurry screen or whatever. Like, all they'll see is, like, a blurry dog that's scary and barking at them or whatever. And...
kind of sounds like the book Giver, I believe is the name of it.
I don't know, I've never heard of that book.
Well, it's a book about this dystopian future. Why does everything has to be dystopian future? Why can't it just be a good future?
Because it used to be that we imagined a good future in the future, but now all we see is death and destruction and, because we see reality.
True. But the thing is, it takes place in this dystopian future where all bad feelings, including arousal and stuff, are taken from everybody by these pills.
Hold up.
And
You said bad feelings, and then you mentioned arousal.
well, to them, that's considered a bad feeling.
Get the fuck out. Anyway,
No,
continue.
That's
Get the fuck out.
to them, that's considered a bad feeling.
Well, then they don't.
But right, but when they start feeling that type of feelings, they start taking pills, and these pills remove the feelings from them and give them to one person. Just one person called the giver. And this person, well, the main character of the book, it's actually a book, actually becomes the protege of the giver and starts to receive everybody's emotions and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's freaky. It's a freaky book to watch.
Well, if you want to talk about taking or giving emotions, Children of the Whales. Love it. It's an anime. It's another thing on Netflix. It is very touchy-feely, so if you don't like touchy-feely animes, it's not for you. But it touches on that, giving, or, one group, it completely takes all their emotions. And there's another group who it doesn't take their emotions, and so they still feel, and, that creates, discord in between the two groups.
Discord.
Yeah, Discord, like the thing that we're using to talk right now.
I was thinking of Discord as the MLP guy. He's a Draconicus.
Oh. See, I would never would have gotten that.
Yeah, I know. He's actually played by John Delancey, who was Q in Star Trek. You don't watch Star Trek.
I keep on saying I need to go back to it. Look, I got William Shatner, and Spock fucking died. So, like...
Yeah. Well, it's with the ones with Jean-Luc Picard.
Oh, I never even watched any of those. Yeah, see, Dad, like the ones with William Shatner. So those are the ones that I saw.
William Shatner. Yeah, William Shatner's pretty cool.
He was cute back then.
Yeah, but he was still a little pudgy.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Oh no, I'm not saying anything wrong about it. I'm not saying anything wrong about it.
I mean, Indiana Jones wasn't, nothing but muscle, but he was still cute too. So, like...
No. The thing is, Indiana Jones actually had to do a lot of action scenes, though.
Yeah, I mean, he still has some muscle, but, he wasn't like...
I still like both... Sure. I like both William Shatner and... Why the hell am I blanking on his name right now?
Sir Richard?
He plays Han Solo. For fucking sake, he plays Han Solo.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. Thank you.
Forgive us for getting old.
I blanked on Harrison Ford's name.
How do you forget
he's
Harrison
one of my favorite action actors.
And he's still pretty hot, even though he's like 70.
He's 65, I believe.
Huh. He's pretty good for 65.
Oh no, he still looks hot as hell. I'll give you that.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
Yes, I am straight. I am straight. Just throw this out there. I am straight. But
no,
I'm
it's too
enough
late
to know when a dude looks fucking hot.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to, be able to say so-and-so is hot. It doesn't matter what gender they are.
Yeah. Oh, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm not...
He's 75.
I
had the 5 part. I know, everybody's like, Ryan Reynolds is, oh my god, but he's...
Who's that guy that's in the Notebook? Is that Gosling? Ryan Gosling?
Everybody wants to be Gosling, though.
Like, he's only cute in that role, though.
Yeah.
But that's because it's a love story, and so I'm already sitting there. I'm like, I already, have the lovey-dovey feelings. So I'm influenced by
The
that.
lovey-dovey feelings.
Yeah, so you're already influenced by that. We need to stop before it just becomes a review of all the lovey-dovey movies I have watched in my lifetime,
Yeah.
which is
We're
way
actually
too
at
many.
an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
We're actually at an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we should probably call it a day here and see how it goes and see what you guys think in Discord. And if you have any suggestions for future podcasts, by all means, let us know in our Discords, and we'll see you guys there. If you are not in our Discord, which I know all of you are, but just in case,
Everybody here is in our Discords.
just in case there's a lurker or two, ! Discord will get you the link to our Discord, and we will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, please, I beg of you, don't forget to smile. Bye.